This is about the third time. I'm not doing very well. I keep messing this up. I can tell you I haven't done this for a long time, or things are different. I have I'm talking away and that why ain't nobody here? And then I realize, oh, I made it private. So then I do it again, and then my phone keeps saying, "What is your orientation?" I'm like, I haven't changed anything. So I hope everybody's doing well. One person. So I've finally done it right. Hello, one person. If you can comment, I would like to be grateful so I can see that everything's working. Just say hi. I'll be grateful. I think one thumbs up. Thank you. Good morning. This is my third attempt to do it. I keep messing it up. Taking the picture, get the orientation right, and then it's private. Oh, you're here. Thanks. Good morning. Said hi. Sawadee Kab. I kept messing everything up. I don't know what was going on. Finger troubles. What time is it here? It's 20 minutes to 9 in the morning in Thailand. So I'm about 45 minutes away from Ayutthaya, about an hour and a half from Bangkok South, just so you know where I am. If you want to leave what country you're in, oh, look who's here. I just realized who said hi, all the way from Sweden. My welder friend. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Sawadee. So, I was messing. So it's just me and you talking. I kept messing up. I don't know why, maybe early in the morning, but I haven't done lives for, over 5 years since I was here before, 4 years something. So this is my first one, and I thought I'd do it this time to catch European and U.S. people on their Sunday night. So what time is it in Sweden? It's like 3 in the morning, isn't it? Oh, 2:30 in the morning. What? What are you doing awake so late? You should be sleeping, bad girl. 2:30. You must have been out partying all night or something. I guess it's getting cold up there in Sweden right now. Yeah, here it's about a week ago. It was still rainy season. It's funny because it was like raining hot, and then it was like one morning I woke up and there was a wind. I was like, huh? Wind means the start of winter. Wind from the east, start of winter. And the temperature dropped. And instead of being up in 33 and high humidity, it's the humidity dropped. Right now outside in the morning, it's 77% humidity. And the temperature is around 30 instead of 33, 34. So the humidity was averaging around 90. So 90 and 32, 33. Here it's always about 3 degrees cooler because of the trees. So if you go to the village or around here, it's usually like 34, 35. But here, right where I am, because I have all the greenery around me, the humidity, the temperature drops 2 to 3 degrees, and humidity usually stays about the same high. Excuse me. So just have a drink of water. So but then when that wind started, the rains, I think we had one more heavy rain, a couple of light rains, stopped. So we haven't had any rain for almost a week here now, and the wind started. So in the early morning, there's a wind from the east, which is really nice. And you go out in the garden in the morning, the humidity's lower and the temperature's lower, which is, I love this time of year. But 16 degrees was the coldest I've had. Hello, Kevin from Sydney, Australia. Hey, race car. Thanks very much. Spelt backwards. Race car. You in portrait mode, but you appear to be side view. I messed up completely then. I'm sorry. Shall I try to fix this or mess everything up? I'm probably going to mess all this up. If you can bear with me, I'll try to fix it for next time. Otherwise, I'm going to mess everything up. So I'm sideways on. Annoying, I'm sorry. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is the first time I've been live for like 4.5 years and a new phone. So I don't know if there's some settings in here that I need to do. But I said landscape. How about if I press this? Will I blow up? No, I think I was pausing myself. And if I rotate that, yeah, that didn't work. Well, I apologize, guys. I'm sorry. I'll try to do better next time. I tell you, I completely messed it up. I guess I'm having an elder moment. David Powell, how you doing? I laugh at myself, I know, next month. So what? Friday is the 31st. Saturday is November, and then I can say, I don't know why I feel like a little kid with my next birthday, which is next month. Hey Kev, great to see you all. Bye. It's sideways. Yeah, I'm sorry. I messed up. I don't know how to fix it, but I'll play with it later. What is this one here? I'm having an elder moment. So I was just saying that my birthday's next month and I'm going to be 69. So when things go wrong, I just laugh and I say, oh, I'm having an elder moment. No drama. How are you? The floods and yeah, there's a lot of bugs this year. A lot of snakes and bugs. And the dam, the river here has gone down yesterday about, I want to say 30 centimeters at least. It just like dropped. So they obviously opened the gate somewhere. But I went to the dam, the big dam, last Friday, and the water hasn't moved much. So, and they haven't started pumping it out. But like I was saying about going to be 69 next month, and I haven't done this for like 4 years, so I have to figure out. At least I'm doing better. The last time I went live, what happened? I talked for 20 minutes, and nobody come, and I thought something's wrong. So I come off, and I looked in the settings, and what happened? I had it set to private. Elder moment. So if you can bear with me, I apologize for the sitting on your wall. Should I sit like that? Will that make it better, or like that? Excuse me. I got some spray here somewhere. Where is it? I don't have a cold. I don't have a flu. I don't have anything. But this time of year, when the weather changes, It's all kinds of weird, like allergies. You know, you wake up in the morning, your nose all wonky, and you blow your nose, and it's gone for the whole day. You know, I don't have a cold. Then you have a funny head. But I tell you what I heard. Was that word that should be in the... I have no idea what it's popped. Something popped up. Yeah, drama. So I don't know I've been down there a couple of times trying to keep an eye on the dam because as soon as they start pumping or doing anything, I want to be able to see it. But I went down last Friday. Thanks so much for the Dow. That's awesome. $2.99. You know what? I want to say something, Dow. Remember this because I'll forget. But Dow, I want to say this. This is the first time in my life somebody's bought a cup of coffee for me like this on here. Wow. Amazing. See, all this new technology that I didn't have when I was here before. Yeah, so I want to see the dam. Can I do, if I mess this up, will I? Oh, there you go. I can touch it. Thanks so much for that. I like that. Thank you. Yeah, I went to the dam last Friday, and what happened was nobody there at all. Everybody's gone. There was a digger sitting on the side of the road and a digger on the other side, but everything else is gone. They finished all the rebar the last time I reported, covered it all up. They put some coating on it to stop it from rusting, and nobody there. Completely gone. Like, they're just going to go away for a couple weeks and wait for the water to go down, I guess. So, but back to what I was saying about the bugs. This year, during rainy season, it's been the most different bugs, different birds, and different snakes that I've ever seen since I've been here. I've been in this house now, I think I'm in my... coming up to the 11th year. So it'll be 11 years in this house in spring. So, but amazing. You know, people get excited about the snakes, but you know how I know I'm inside you now that somebody said it? Is the comments are sideways. If I did change everything, it's going to mess up. So I'll just leave it like this, and I really apologize. But never a dull moment around here, right? I should look at myself and see, can I fix it? I don't want to mess you guys up. No, I'll just leave it alone. Yeah, so one thing I wanted to see, I told you before that python got in with the birds and ate about 20 of my birds, but I could not figure out what was doing, what was happening, until I said before, I put a torch, flashlight into the holes at night. It was like dark o'clock, and I had a real bright light, and I shined it in each one of the holes from the outside. I don't want to put my face in there, and tilt my phone. Okay, I can try that. And so I put the light in there, and what happened? Nothing. But then all of a sudden a head popped up. I said, I got you. So how can I do this? Okay, I'm going to wiggle the camera a little bit, so bear with me, all right? I apologize. How to do all this, I don't know. Can I need to get, I don't know how this spin this thing around. It's not. Oh, okay. Will that turn? There we go. Because I need to get this at right angles. So it will tilt over to the left. Now you have to work me on this one. I'm going to tilt the camera now and tell me if I'm in the view or not. We'll have some drama here. Is that better or worse? Better or worse, so I know which way to go. Somebody tell me, better or worse? Because if that's the way, then I can keep going. No different. Go the other way, then I'll be upside down. Okay, I'm gonna try something to keep going and see what happens. Okay. I gotta rotate this head so that it will tilt to right angles. What a drama. Kind of embarrassing. No, that's completely wrong. Hang on. I'll get it this time. Is that better? Don't worry. Good idea. Getting better. Okay, I obviously got my camera set at portrait mode, and I have it set, it's laying at landscape, so I apologize. I don't remember having to do this before, because the last time I did this, all you had to do is tilt your phone like this, but now you have shorts, so I guess there's some software in there that I got to click somewhere where when you go live to go like this. What do you think? Enjoy your channel. I have been watching 8+ years from Vancouver, but now in Thailand. Oh, you're in Thailand. Come every year. Okay, very nice. You see me sitting like that because that tells me that it tells me that my thing's wrong, because the comments are coming this way. I'm so sorry. I feel, but as an ex-techie, received spelling backwards when you were in the forces. Kevin, did you do any active service? No active service. I tell you what happened. The only time I nearly did active service is when I went to the Falkland Islands, and obviously the Falkland Islands was in 1982. I went to go down. We were supposed to go down there, and then they asked me to go on a medics course, so that was 7 weeks long. So I went on that, did well on that, went back, and by the time the unit got down there, and by the time I got down there 8 weeks late, it was all finished. What was the greatest lesson you took away from serving your country? I think the best thing I learned was the greatest lesson. the greatest lesson I would say is, I said, I wouldn't say this is so much serving the country, but I would say it's something I learned in life. And I've said it a lot in the past, and I say it even more today. The greatest gift that you could have is a sound mind. Because, you could have the best job in the world, you could have the best relationships in the world, but if you don't have a sound mind, you can lose everything. Everything. So a sound mind is being able to think rationally and to, when pressures come, look at the pressure without bending and, you can bend, but adjusting yourself and flowing, learning to flow in life like a river. And, but what did I get? What did I get from the military? Was teaching. Playing soldiers was fun I joined at 17, went to the unit at 18, played at different units for a while, playing soldiers, boring. But I eventually wound up as a teacher in a school, and dude, round peg, round hole. Loved every minute of it. Full-time job teaching, like vehicle engineering and how to teach. So when I finished, I was a warrant officer, and my job was teaching teachers how to teach. And I can say, without a doubt, best job I've ever had. After I left, I got into IT. I worked at some big research company, and I applied the same mindset and did really, really well. When I told them I was leaving to travel, they said, "Look, we know you're going to travel, but if you ever want to come back, please. If you ever come back to the UK, please come back. We'd like to have you back." And I felt that was one of the best compliments I could have ever had. That they liked me, the way I worked, and I was always trying to push myself to understand more. Microsoft makes a thing called TechNet for engineers, and I used to read that thing, like just study it, because your weird problems would come, and nobody really knew how to fix them. Like there was a couple times they'd come and they were so bad, and people would get fed up and give it to me, and I would just read TechNet, and eventually I'd find it. One time they had this. Another company I took care of on the side was they had some specialist software, and a company that took care of it. Well, they messed it up and blamed me. So the people I work for, at that company, they said, "They're blaming you," and I said, "I haven't done anything, so whatever." So I went in one night and stayed there like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I figured out what it was and rebooted it, and it seemed to be working, but I didn't know that software. I can't test it. So in the morning they came in, I got a phone call from Alan, the guy who was in charge, one of the directors. He was in charge of the IT, and he said, "What did you do? You fixed it." And I said, all I did was I changed a few settings and updated a little tiny piece of software. And that was it. And then, he said that company, who the specialist, wanted to talk to me, their director of maintenance or whatever she was. And, she said I was the one who caused the problem, and I was the one that fixed their problem. So that's the kind of things I like. I'm not, I don't have, sadly, I don't have any great war stories, but to be honest with you, looking back about those situations, I'm glad I didn't have anything to do with them. When the truth came out, don't need to be a part of that. But Dal, thank you. That's a really cool question. Teaching, passion for teaching. Yeah. I did like 10 different vehicles So every time you do a course, you have to do 2 vehicles. So I did a couple 2 times, and then I did went on teaching courses, civilian and military teaching courses. I loved it, the psychology of how to get information in. And one good thing about me is you see who I am today, the person I am today, I was the same person then. So yes, I had green clothes on and rank and hats and things like that. But you can't talk to people in a military drill sergeant way and expect them to learn. So the same manner I have today is the same manner that I taught with back then. And, articulate, approachable, friendly, have a structure and no questions bad. But to teach people to teach and then teach them how each component, what they're talking about. Even back then with a younger head, when there was one course called the Regimental Instructor Course, and it was 3 weeks of basic principles. Every nut, every washer, every carburetor, every fuel injection pump, every engine, all. Talk about a headache. But it loved it. To blame culture, lots of toxic people in the corporate world, you just need to rise above it. Yeah, I did. That lady, I mean, I didn't get excited. They blamed me, and then when the truth came out, they had egg on their face, and it was a double glazing company, people who made windows, 2-pane windows, I guess 3-pane now, put all the different argon gases in it. And I knew them for a while, and Alan and I talked just like friends. He would say, "Kev, can you do this? Can you do that?" Sure, we'd work it out, and we just talked like two old buddies. And I trusted him; he trusted me. If I told him how many hours I worked, he never questioned it, and I never tried to take advantage. I didn't really have an ego then, and try not to have one now. So when I fixed it, I didn't say too much. People are always trying to point fingers, and I think that's not what life's about. To me, that's not what life's about. So you could shout and scream at somebody, and then in a few days, you realize you're an idiot, and that's even worse. If you're humble enough, you can go back and apologize. But I've grown a lot in my personal life since I was in the green clothes. Back then I left at 40. If you're in the Air Force or Navy in the UK, you can stay on till you're 55. Because they have roles where they're not active duty. But in the Army, you have to leave at 40, or you can apply for long service. And as a warrant officer, you can find a job somewhere. There's many jobs all around the world. But I was just like desperate to leave. I think I was the bureaucracy. Okay, I'll say this. If this is an honest opinion, okay, this is my honest opinion. If you have a logical mind, and you can if you can break things down, like what would you call it, like how are you going to build something? How are you going to do something? You break it down like a project manager. You say, okay, this is my outcome. This is where I'm starting. These are my resources. This is what I need. How long? And break it all down, and you get something done. Being in the military, I seen there was a lot of incompetent officers, because I felt they just come in for a good old jolly. It's a part of their resume. went to Sandhurst, got a degree, joined the military, stayed for 3 years, and left. And while they were there, all they did is they partied as much as they possibly could, went a few places, got a medal, and got out. So when they go for their corporate job, I was in the military, I did this and got this distinguished award. But actually their management skills, poor, very poor. Seen it so many times. And they're just not interested in it. Most, I don't want to say all, but I would say 70% or more not interested. There's a few, and they usually go on to, go higher into staff jobs, higher positions away from active, but more into a staff job. And I've met some good officers. I had one friend, I won't say friend, but he came up through the ranks, which means private, 1 strike, 2 strike, all the way up, and got commissioned and was a captain. And he was my boss when I was at Larkill, the School of Artillery. And he said to me, Sergeant Jeffries, I have no idea what you do. Can you manage yourself and just keep me updated? I said, absolutely, 100%. And when I left, it was so easy because I was managing a small little training wing, and I'd been teaching in the school for 5 years. So how is that little training wing going to tax me at all? But I did it the best I could, and it was, I had a lot of people around me that were not in my field, but in other fields that I knew, and I went training every night. There was a gym literally 5 minutes walk from where I slept, and I did weight training for years in there. I worked for myself, I managed myself. It was great. I mean, and when I left, what happened? I got promoted again. So I held myself back by staying at the school so long, but in the end, because I enjoyed what I was doing, I only spent like 6 months as a staff sergeant, and I was went into warrant officer because of teaching was a passion. And of course, if you have if you're doing something that's a passion, what happens? You do it extremely well. You're always trying to better yourself and so on. So, excuse me. I have to say, when I was teaching, and you could say that's like, I almost have like hair on my, standing on the hair on my arm standing up thinking about that, because the passion that I had for that and wanting people to succeed. If you look at now, what do I say to people in the comments when you comment on the videos? I always say buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. At the end of a video, buckets of blessings, wish your family. Why? Because that's who I am. I want everybody to have the best that they can have. So when I was teaching, I applied the same thoughts. I wanted each person that came here. I looked at it like this. I watched people. You think at that time I had been in the Army about 16, 17 years by the time I finished teaching at the school the first time. And so I knew what was going on, and I seen a lot of people getting out. I seen what was happening to them when they got out. And the reason I started thinking about all this was because we had a review, and they actually brought us into a theater and said, look, we're trying to bring the Army standards higher so that you will have transferable skills when you got out. But the mindset of a lot of the people didn't want to change. And so they had this mindset of, I'm Army. When they got out, they had to change to be, to work in the civilian environment, but they didn't have the mental agility to do that. So I seen all that, and when before I left, I started one of the reasons why I wanted to go to the school in the first place. I didn't really understand that I had a skill for teaching, but I wanted the qualifications so that I can go to because you get civilian qualifications on the highest course. And from that, I could have went to tech college and did other courses. And then I got this thing called licensureship, which is like in Europe, it would be called like master craftsman, or US called master craftsman. And in that field, teaching vehicle engineering. So I already had that mindset. I was planning all this for a long time, and but a lot of them didn't comprehend that one day you're going to have to leave the green clothes, and nobody hires. IBM's not hiring people who can fire missiles. They want people who can do their whatever their jobs are. And being in charge of 30 guys and marching them around, that's not a job outside. So you have to have a mind that was flexible enough to change, and a lot couldn't. But the reason I enjoyed the teaching so much, I realized what I achieved, and I wanted every student. The biggest class that you would have is 6, because teaching 6 people the vehicle and how to teach. Teaching is hard work. It takes a long time. So a lot of practice, a lot of mental, giving them confidence, teach or encouraging them to be the best they can, all that sort of stuff. And that's a transferable skill, and I bring that today. And when is your birthday, Kevin? Birthday, thank you so much for asking, my friend. You're very kind to ask that. 24 November, next month. 69! Woo woo! I don't know why I just excited. Like a 5-year-old. I've not been excited at 50, 51, 55. Not excited at 60, 65. None of that. Didn't care. But something about 69, I feel, is significant, and I can't explain why. I asked ChatGPT, is there a significance? And I don't trust them anymore. They don't want you to talk about certain subjects. So if you ask them spiritual questions, tilt. 65 in January. Cool. Happy birthday in advance if I forget, and thank you again for the coffee. Yeah, I think so. I asked ChatGPT, dude, thanks so much. You're awesome. Thank you for that, for the coffee, Anna. Awesome. Emotional now. Serious. I can give easy. Receiving's a little bit different emotion, but I'm learning. So thanks so much. Awesome. The first time I've ever got money from coffee like this is this now. So if you're watching me tilted and still here, amazing. Thanks so much. Yeah, I think the best thing in the world was the teaching. But the 69 thing, you got when I started reading about 69, it said the 6 is an inverted 9, whatever. And then you have the yin yang, the balance, and all that sort of stuff. So still haven't figured out the significance of 69, but I still feel what I feel, and I'm excited. And I said that I might do something different. For a long time I haven't been anywhere, and don't feel the need to go anywhere. But The only thing that I think I might do is go to Bangkok and stay in a really posh hotel for a couple of nights, like a Friday and a Saturday night, and spend a day in cake. Woohoo! I'm rich now. All this coffee and cake. Thank you so much. You know my soft spot because that's my thing. There's a where the old prison is. 81 in Japan. Is that fair? 81 in Jan. Not sure what that means. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's my thing, coffee and cake. I call it having a moment where you can, the world's, I guess it's a bit like you see the film The Matrix where he's standing there and all this stuff's happening, the world's falling apart. And the world's falling apart around him, everything's crumbling. But when you have cake, you can sit down and you go, slice of cake, bit of coffee, the world falling apart. I can't hear nothing. I see nothing. Like Schultz, remember Stalag 13, and you just sip your. That's my thing. I love it. My little bit of a temporary pause in the world. You can have. So it's called Zen cake. Sorry, Kevin. I meant January. Oh, okay. Got it. 81 in January. Wow, Brian. Good for you. Life lessons to learn by Brian. 81. Cool. Good for you, guy. Obviously doing something right. You're still here and healthy. So let's say to Brian, in 20 years when I'm sitting here doing a live, maybe I can get the landscape right and you can be 101. What'll that make me in 20 years? I'll be 89. Woohoo! Funny, huh? Laughing, best medicine. Laughing. Yep. Funny, life's funny, isn't it? Just, I don't know, maybe 69 is something like, you have youth, adolescence, whatever, teenage, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. But you have like you're a parent, and then you're a grandparent, and you're a great grandparent, all that stuff. But you could say 60, from say 50 to 69, you could be a grandparent. But at 69, something changes, and you. I think it's a spiritual milestone for myself. I don't know, but it's like you pass into something different at that age, I feel. What do you think? Any ideas? I'm serious. I'm not just, hey, Andy. I hope Andy's well down over there in Australia. Andy Travels. That's it. You can see him. You have a YouTube, right, Andy? So, yeah, I still think 69 is something significant. But I researched it. Other than the yin yang and the balance, I asked ChatGPT if it's significant in Chinese or Japanese culture or something like that. No. But there's a lady from the UK who does Borneo soon. Okay, cool, Andy. And she asked, I forget her name, Stacy and something beginning with an S. If you put in Stacy, AND space S, then you might find it on Facebook or Instagram. And she asks some really crazy questions. And she says things like, no filters. And she even says, if you can't answer the question, say apple. And a few times the male voice says apple, because he's not allowed to answer the question. And I'm thinking, dude. So I tried it with, when I asked the questions sometimes about spiritual stuff, and she did, like, many, I don't want to get into it. It's kind of private, but wouldn't answer my question. So, not the always giving you the right information. So if you could ask and they gave you the real information, what would happen? We would be more free. Funny, huh? Guys, I'm excited, even though I'm crooked. I love it though. Love it that I messed up. I know that's a pain in the neck for you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I've been doing this for 45 minutes, and I know I messed up, but I didn't want to stop and start again. This is the first time that I went live for over 4.5 years, so everything's changed. So I've got to go somewhere in the settings. I've got to say landscape instead of vertical, and I did one live before. I thought I was live. 20 minutes, not one person came to say hi, nobody. And then I found it in the software, in the computer, that I couldn't find on here. I had it set to private. No wonder nobody came. I was at private. I was having my own personal live, talking away. But my not very articulate, because I'm trying to talk and I'm thinking why. So finally I stopped and found out why. Well, at least I got that right today. Just have to get the orientation correct. What's it? I don't know what this button is, if it's the right button. Let's see. Oh, I don't know what that is. Okay, guys. Any more questions? We've been here for 47 minutes. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Anna and Dow, for the coffee and cake money. I really, really appreciate you guys. How can I say this? I want to say this, but if you don't get the meaning of it, it's just words, right? And I'm not that guy. I'm different. And when I say thank you, I mean sincerely. Because I think today we've lost the ability to connect emotionally with each other, and everything's just surface stuff. Right? So this is what I want to say. I really am grateful that you guys are here watching and I can interact with you. Living alone, I'm able to have fun playing on YouTube. I give up YouTube because 65 4th of November. Cool. 65 on the 4th of November. Wow, Anna. I have to remember that. I'll write that down. 65. Cool. My sister's, I only have one sibling. My sister's going to be 65 on the 5th of November. How about that? Anna on the 4th and my sister on the 5th. Cool, huh? Yeah, so how can I'll try to say this one more time. And I don't care if I come across corny. I don't care. I'm just going to say it. A heart, the center of emotion, heartfelt thank you for being here. So what I was saying is, when the first flood, I was still okay. After the second flood, it came up even higher. And my garden was destroyed. You know me in my paradise, right? The garden was destroyed. everything was dirty and nasty, and trying to survive through the flood for 2 weeks. It was crazy here. And after that, I had so much to do, to clean, to fix, to try to stop it from happening again. I just said, I can't focus on YouTube and do all this stuff at the same time. So I just said, I have to stop so I can focus on. Kind of went to be almost like, I wouldn't say schizophrenic, but highly stressed, trying to focus on how can, I've never lived in this sort of environment before. And then all of a sudden, the house sunk, this side of the house sunk 7 inches, about, what's that, about 25 centimeters. So I told you this before, I have to shower outside because if I'm going to make a new shower. I think I finally come to the idea I'm going to make a new shower. Give my regards to the lovely Jen. Certainly will. She'll come sometime today. But anyway, the point is I'll make a new shower. But that time I was like deeply stressed out, so that's why I stopped. And now I'm back. I still have projects to do to stop the flooding, but I have time where I can do this, and I'm happy to do it and share my life with you. I am 47 years old and I work and also take care of my father. I want your advice. Dude, I have to say one thing. You asked me for advice. Grateful. Thank you so much for asking. 47 years old. I work and also take care of my father. If you have a good, I didn't have a good relationship with my mother, narcissist, and I didn't have a good relationship with my father, alcoholic, abusive, narcissist. Growing up as a child, life was hell. But if you have a good relationship, I'm not the guy really to ask that question. Although I can say is, if you have a good relationship with him, then try to laugh and joke with him. If he's cognitive, you can find a way to enjoy something together. Coffee, tea, take him out. I know you're working and you're trying to cut the grass and take care of your family and everything else. But if you can find a way to enjoy and let him be a part of your life, and I think that's don't want to use the word honorable, but I would say from a love and connection perspective, it could be an awesome time. But it's hard for me to answer that question because I don't come, the secret of teaching is know your subject, and I don't know this subject very well. So I can only say it's an opportunity if you can manage and stay calm yourself. All my life, I've always had this opinion. All my life, I've had this opinion. Something about older people. Whenever I've met, like when I was in my 40s and 50s, I always meet people who are much older than me, and I ask them the question, you're very welcome. I asked the question, what is your secret to life? And a lot of them would look at me like, are you all right? What are you asking that question for? Well, here I am. I am that guy now. And what is the secret to life? I don't want to extend this for another hour, but I would have to say, what is the secret of life? Cake and coffee. And you could say, what does that mean? Cake and coffee. Well, you have a moment. I just described a minute ago. the world's tumbling around you, like the scene in the Matrix. He's standing there quiet and calm, and everything, the world is crashing around him. And when you have cake and coffee, you can have a Zen moment. You can do it with anything. This, a moment in time. I'm a bit of a word person, and often when we're out, I'll sit there and zone out. You just like we call it daydreaming. But I thought, what happens when you're daydreaming? Where do you go? What are you doing? And because I do it quite often nowadays, and Jan will say to me, Kev, yep, come back. But I think you're having a moment. There's a space in time. You're a glitch in the matrix where you go somewhere, connect to something, and come back. So, Yaska, and everybody here, and anybody who watches this in the future, find a time when you can break the matrix and find that peace and have a moment of time for yourself. Because in that little glimpse, there's a light that you can connect to yourself and find yourself. And once you start to find yourself, the ego dies and enlightenment takes place. That's the saying that Thai people have. That is. So, I'll say this again. From my heart, I don't know, electronics can't. I used to say before when I would talk, I wish you could smell this. So, YouTube can do smell. But if YouTube could transmit emotions, I guess the word I'm looking for is the love. It would be love. And I transfer that to you to say thank you so much for being here. In my spare time, when I have time to do YouTube, you're here, a part of my life, I feel. And I'm asking one favor, please. Please leave a comment. Not just good morning, or you can say where you're from, other than being wonky. What is your moment in time? How do you find that moment? Okay, guys, we're coming up on the hour. I'm sure if Anna's still here, it's 3:30 in the morning. Get to bed, girl. Happy birthday again for the 4th of November. And who else was it? 81 in January. And Kevin next month. 69 next month. Amazing. If it's not too personal, did you ever have kids? Yes, 2 kids. First marriage. How can I say this? I couldn't talk about it before because way too painful. But today I can sort of paraphrase. I never ever said that somebody was possessed. In Victoria, that's Australia, right? I wouldn't say people were possessed before, but I would say this person I was married to, female, had to have some kind of special darkness. Because I didn't really want anything. I tried to break up with her, and then she had all this drama, and then her mom wrote to me because I was in Germany, please write to her because. And then as soon as she got there, all that big drama about why she needed to be with me was not to be with me, was more to get away from her family. And then when she came with me, she started sleeping around everywhere. And we had 2 kids. Anyway, she poisoned them, and It went from bad to worse to drastic. And the only way I could save myself was just to part from them. And even today, they have a special twisted. I don't know. I have no idea how they work or how their brain functions for them to think that the way they behave is normal. So I don't have anything to do with them. I don't talk to them. I think about this, right? It would take another one of my lifetimes to work with them to try to build a relationship, and I don't have that time. You know, you have to be a special kind of stupid if you can't understand what compassion is and what gentleness is and what kindness is and what forgiveness is. You know, I'm not asking anybody to be extraordinarily different just to be in my life. I'm just a normal guy, understanding normal things, trying to make my way. But when you have a special kind of nasty, I can't deal with that. So that's why I never talk about it, because it's a little bit too painful. A little bit, well, more than a little bit. Even today, I don't even want to, I don't like to acknowledge that. I was married 2 times, and guess what? Didn't have any kids with the second one. Luckily, what I did is I had so no more children, but she did the same. But, you know, you say a highly spiritual person meets people like that to allow them to grow higher. Because you don't grow unless you're under pressure. The diamond doesn't become a diamond unless it sits in the earth under millions of tons of pressure for a long time, right? So we don't become stronger and resilient and all these things unless we live through pressure. When you live through pressure, you find real love. I mean, all the philosophers talk about that. Spiritual leaders, whatever. They, you know, why are they the way they are? Because they've lived through crap. And do I want to be a spiritual leader? No. I just want to share love. And if we can have a break in the matrix. What we got here? What we got? Anna, I will make coffee and also love coffee, but listening to you and your should and blessings. Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Anna, may I say this? I feel like you're like a sister. I've known you for a long time. And you always have kind things to say. Makes me emotional. 7:30 in Washington State. Hey, what you doing? Guys, we're over an hour now. I want to say this. Buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. Create your space in the matrix and find love and peace and gentle and kindness. Good night to everybody and where it's dark. And good morning to all those who watch after this. Thanks for sharing, Kevin. I just had to see a used, but we'll come back to hear your story. Okay, mate. Go steady. See you guys. All the very best. Buckets of blessings. I really want you to have peace and happiness. See you guys. Thanks so much. Bye.